By default, Cadasio animates properties when you change steps. Usually this is a linear transition between two values. You can however change the behaviour of animations by setting certain properties on parts. In this example, you'll notice in the start step we can see an assembly of some components from a bike's rear wheel. And in step 2 a few things have changed. For starters, the background colour has changed. You'll notice that the camera has moved, and we also have several Toolbox 2D items appearing. The behaviour that you're seeing when changing between these steps is what you get out of the box with Cadasio. You may spot that when a Toolbox 2D component changes visibility, it does so at a different time to the rest of the animations. So here you can see that when the camera animates, if the toolbox items are appearing, then they do so after everything else is animated. And if they are disappearing, they do so first. Quite often this is desirable behaviour, however you can change it if you want. If I select all the Toolbox 2D items and go to the General tab on the Property bar, I can open up the Animations interface. From here I can change the visibility behaviour to parallel. Let's update the steps so the property changes are saved, and let's see if we can spot the difference. Going back to the start step doesn't seem to have made any difference. The 2D items are still hidden first, and then the rest of the things animate. Well, that's because in the start step their properties are set to the default, which is where they do it separate. However, you will notice now when I go forward, everything starts fading in as the rest of the animations take place. Let's do that again. Now this can be really useful in certain situations, but in a situation like this where you've got objects pointed with leaders, you may actually think it looks a bit messy because as the parts move, all the leaders move at the same time with them. Another quick option to change is the speed at which the steps animations take place. When you create a new step, or if you open the step settings, you can set the animation duration. If I set it to very fast, you can see the outcome. Again, if you're wondering why going backwards is normal speed, it's because the start step's animation speed has not been changed, only step 1. So now when I go forward a step, you should see everything animates a lot quicker. Let's take a look at even more animation properties. By default, when an object moves, we transition between the two locations linearly. As you can see, the ring's moving from one position to another. However, we can change that. So if I choose this gear, and once again go to the General tab on the Property bar, and then click the Animations tool, I can change its animation behaviour for things such as visibility and its movement. Let's set its movement to Shrink Grow and see the effect. I'll want to update the step to save the changes in properties. Now when I animate between these steps and go forward again, you'll see it shrinks and grows into position. It transitions linearly back because in step 2 its behaviour is set to be the default. I can change that and update this step if I want to get a consistent behaviour. So now, as I toggle between steps 3 and 4, you should see that gear shrinking and growing, giving us a completely different look to our animation. We can also control how things animate when they appear. If I drop a quick picture on, I can set its show animation to something different to make the project a bit more exciting. By default everything just fades in. However, I think for this one, I'm going to set its animation to be swirling instead. When you change the animation in the Animations form, you'll notice the Cadasio logo animates to give you a preview of what it will look like. If I confirm that, let's just save that as a new step. Now when that picture appears, it swirls in. Finally, we have attention animations. These are animations that are run continuously when a step is finished animating. The idea being that it ensures the viewer knows to look or interact with the object. Let's choose this ring again and go to General and Animations, and let's set its attention animation. I like ta-da. If I just click confirm, you won't see a lot happens. That's because to see the effects of an attention animation, you'll need to be in view mode. To do this, press V on your keyboard and this will toggle between normal design mode and view mode. As soon as I go in view mode, you'll see the animation attention kicks in and the ring will start to animate. All 3D and 2D objects have show, hide, movement and attention animations, and some of the predefined toolbox items that come with Cadasio have them already set. For example, if I look at some of the hotspots and place a marker, if I save that as a new step, the marker has some animations set by default. So you'll notice when I go forward a step, it drops in, and then because I'm in view mode, the attention animation will kick in and it'll start to wobble. Likewise, if I throw in a cartoon hand, and go into view mode, that too has its own attention animation set. Okay, hopefully you found this video useful. If you have any questions, head over to our forum, and you can find us on all the usual social media sites.